Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamra. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. I am up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, waiting for my love bug to get here. Of course, I keep her for a few hours, and then after I keep her for a few hours, let me see, you guys. And then after I keep her for a few hours, of course, her dad comes to her dad. Oh, okay, here it is. Her dad comes to get a child. Um, but I'm waiting for my love bug, which is my grandbaby, to get here. And so, and after that, my day starts because I definitely got to go out on some cases today. Um, but I wanted to talk about, but I always, express the importance of um hitting the like button and also subscribing to the channel. Subscribing to the channel helps to keep the video in the algorithm, and liking the videos help to keep the videos in the algorithm. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you so much for rocking with me. It means so much to me as I work hard, as I always have, to bring you the truth, okay? And those things that I can tell you, I do. All right. Make sure y'all get the subscribe to the members also. Because as things start to crank up in this Young Dolph's case, y'all know we always get the information over here first, okay? The accurate information. And so, what I start doing is I start those things that I don't necessarily, we talk about it in the members, okay? As you all will know first, right? As I know it, those things that I can tell, because as I always say, y'all, I don't believe in compromising cases. If information that someone tells me is too sensitive to release into the atmosphere, of course, I want justice for Young Dolph in totality. And we know that he is getting that. Shout out to the investigators and the federal agents that's working around the clock to make sure that that happens, right? That he gets justice in totality, and consistently praying for Young Dolph's family, to make sure that all those persons who were involved, regardless of who it was, there have been a lot of names to come up, right? Um, but we have over 200,000 pages. So whoever was involved, and I wouldn't care who it was, we want justice for him. We want them to be brought to justice, right? Um, and it's looking like that is what's going to happen. We do know that they've already arrested a few of the young men, but that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning of what's to come, right? you know. But anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about, was Young Dolph taken out to punish Key Glock? Of course, you guys know I've been vlogging on the Young Dolph's case for over a year. And in my time of vlogging in the Young Dolph's case, right? I've had many of people to come in and out of my chats, right? And because I'm a born, bred Memphian, I I took an interest to Young Dolph's case. Oh, that's so sweet. I took did I say I took a liking? I took an interest to Young Dolph's case. Um, Definitely because it happened in the Memphis area, the area that Young Dolph was assassinated in. All of them we're definitely familiar with. That's a area that I've driven by many a times. I've gone into that cookie shop a couple times. Um, in my life, to get some butter cookies. And of course, I think the mere fact that he was just gunned down in broad daylight like that, it took a lot of Memphians by surprise. Now, we've heard, that people, if you listen to some of the Memphis bloggers, those that live in Memphis, like Player Cole and things of that nature, that's actually out in the street, um, you hear people like him say, well, because he's from the north side, which would be the side that a lot of these guys that was accused of setting this up is from, and he that it was going to happen. Um, but we've heard a situation. Now, getting back to, because y'all know I started getting ahead of myself. I've had many of subscribers to come into my chat, and there was this one um young man who started coming into my chat named Rest in Peace Young Dolph. And he has not been in my chat in a couple months. I don't know if he's up under another name or whatever, but he's always dropped jewels. And I can remember when he started coming into my chat, he was dropping so many jewels. I would read them, I'm go, oh Lord, I don't know who he is, but he definitely knows what he's talking about. I kind of would skip over a lot of I would read them, and I wouldn't elaborate a whole lot on him, because I would go, I don't know who he is, but he's putting a lot into the atmosphere, right? And he was the person to put into the atmosphere that the incident that happened with Key Glock at the airport, right? With Yo Gotti's brother. And I heard that already. And I remember when he said it, I remember Player Cole saying, I don't know who he is, but he definitely knows what he's talking about. I haven't said anything about it, because at that point, I mean, it was so early on, probably about last January or February, when I first started vlogging on this case. He started dropping that into the comments. And then, because a lot of people was watching, you start seeing a lot of other people talk about that. He was the first one that I know of. As a matter of fact, he was the first one to drop that into the comments in my blogs. Now, what ended up happening was you had a lot of haters from certain areas who are hackers on YouTube in a sector, and they all kind of worked together, and they started deleting my videos. I don't know if they were trying to run me off, or they didn't want me to have a reference or whatever, but he was the first one to do that, right? To drop that into the atmosphere about the incident that happened at the airport with Key Glock, right? So even before that, because Key Glock didn't do interviews for for a minute. And then when he did do an interview with this young man, when he was asked about Young Dolph, it was very sad to me, because one of the first things Key Glock did was dropped his head. And so you started hearing a lot of other people talk about that, even though it was quite a few people that elaborated on. I heard, I've heard Sauce talk about it, the incident that happened at the airport with because I do believe that Sauce has a real connection from out of Memphis. As a matter of fact, Sauce has family within Memphis, so he knew about the incident at the airport. Quite a few people that has a authentic connection with Memphis, knew um, that incident that happened at the airport. And um and even still, people were still trying to blame Key Glock. And I've heard people say, um just pure speculation. Did he do it? Did he set this up? Absolutely not. Key Glock did not set this up. Key Glock had nothing to do with the murder of Young Dolph. But was Dolph taken out to punish Key Glock? And that is something that I've always lightly touched on, but I've never really did a video on. But I think it's safe to do it now, because we know that there's nothing left, no wheels left unturned. Everything that the police and the investigators need to know, they already know. I think people were in pandemonium when they thought that folks was putting stuff into the atmosphere that the police didn't know. And so a lot of people kind of stayed away from a whole lot of stuff. Okay. But we know now, at least I know, there are no wheels unturned, because, I love the police, right? And so, as I was saying, with there being no wheels left unturned, more and more things are coming out. We know now um, that the investigators and the federal agents know everything, right? Um, and so now you're starting to hear all those gems that Rest in Peace Young Dolph dropped into my comments. Okay, a year ago, probably, yeah, a year ago. I'm starting to elaborate on that a little bit more, right? Um, about the incident that happened at the airport between Key Glock and Yo Gotti's brother. Was Young Dolph taken out to punish Key Glock? And I would have to say that I believe that because there was a history of trying to take Young Dolph out, somebody was just not going to be happy as long as Young Dolph was being successful. Okay, as long as he was being successful, I mean, it's unfortunate they just was bloodthirsty as it relates to that. They were going to continuously try and take Young Dolph out until they got him, and I think they strategically wanted to kill him in Memphis. Okay, they strategically wanted to kill him in Memphis because of because of being sadistic. Young Dolph was living in Atlanta with some of these people that lived in Atlanta also. Okay, some of these people that are being accused of being involved in his assassination also resides in Atlanta. I'm sure they easily knew where he was. He was having shows and things of that nature. But because Young Dolph built his success from the grounds of Memphis, and some of these people are angry because Memphians love Young Dolph, I think they wanted to make their mark and kill him and assassinate him here. Okay, right. I just think that's something that they wanted to do, to continuously make the city that really helped to support them and Young Dolph just look bad. And I think they was mad because of how the city of Memphis actually supported Young Dolph in his come up on his music and things of that nature, right? But was it a punishment to Key Glock, to take Young Dolph out? Now that we're starting to see more and more come out, I know that I put this into the atmosphere. Nobody knew this. I put it into the atmosphere, okay, on what I'm getting ready to say on this, that there was a comment that was made after the incident happened, and I'm hearing that they came at Key Glock first. It was where Key Glock was taunted. And because of that, some other things happened. I'm not going to dive deep into that, but some other things happened, and where somebody was spit on. But that issue actually started because they messed with him first, you know. And I'm not saying that I condone anything, but they messed with him first, I'm hearing, right? And so that situation happened. And so I'm told, and the police know this, okay, that when that incident happened, someone said, that's all right, we're gonna get him back. And somebody else in this camp said, yeah, we're gonna get him back real soon. We're gonna hurt him bad real soon. And then this situation happened with Young Dolph. But you guys, I believe, just in my opinion, I think that was just because, see, here's the thing about that. I think I've spoken about, I've said this before when I've lightly touched on it. If you have an issue with somebody, okay, then you take that issue up with that person. Why did they go at Young Dolph? It is because he was already a target. They felt like Young Dolph was the bag. They knew that Young Dolph was helping to genuinely teach some of these little dudes the independent route, not just to be famous, but generational wealth. I look at some of these labels, and a lot of these artists, they're having more money than they've ever had, but they still don't have the money that they are supposed to have. That's the difference. Young Dolph wanted these young dudes to have the money that they were supposed to have generational wealth and not just fame. He understood the recipe, right? And so when you hear other people say, well, this label look at how famous this person is. They all over the TV. What they got in their bank account? Does their bank account match their fame? And so Young Dolph was just a rare breed because he wanted these dudes to create generational wealth. He understood, you have to work harder when you don't have the machine behind you, but the money is longer, which is what, why a lot of these people still kind of hate on Key Glock, because they know Dolph gave him the recipe, right? And so Young Dolph was starting to sign artists. And I know people say, well, he shouldn't have been signing the ops or whatever. First of all, they don't say that to Sony or Elektra or Columbia, all these other record labels that are owned by the Jews okay, that these big record companies that sign anybody with talent, they dare not say they don't sign the op. They wouldn't dare say it. They've never said it, and they never will. But Young Dolph was signing talent, okay? And it appears to me, because rest in peace, Young Dolph dropped this gem into my comments over a year ago too. He started to distance himself from some of the little dudes that people were saying were his hitters. He started to he distanced himself from that, right? He distanced himself from that because Young Dolph said he was getting ready to become a billionaire, and he was going to make plenty of millionaires. And I believe people have epiphanies, because we know in the beginning, even when we didn't see Key Glock in the pictures, Young Dolph had some type of a relationship with the young men that unfortunately lost their lives, J Money and D Money of Trula Mafia. And rest in peace, Young Dolph dropped those gems in my comments of why that relationship went awry over a year ago, right? He dropped that into my comments, right? So, and Young Dolph distanced himself from that, okay? So we saw where Young Dolph, we see where Young Dolph has started to sign Snoop and Woo. He signed Key Glock. Him and Key Glock was together. They was blowing up. He said each and every one of his artists he was going to work with individually, and they would have their own time to shine with him, right? Teaching them the recipe. And he was going to sign more artists. I believe that was one of the main reasons that Young Dolph was killed, because he could not be stopped. He was a money-making machine. He understood the recipe, okay? And when that incident with Key Glock happened in the airport, that was just a way to continuously manipulate other fools that they have around them also, okay, to go, and all they needed was just they really didn't need a reason, okay, but this was a way, especially having other fools around you that do anything for some damn crumbs, let's get ready to go to jail, because they care more about another man than they do their own damn kids, okay. There was a way to manipulate them and ultimately help to manipulate some of these people that we see that are in jail, okay. So was it payback? I don't think, people would try and put that into the atmosphere. Oh, it's his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's just something that they wanted to do anyways. I don't listen to a lot of that rap music, but if you listen to some of the people that listen to like black youngsters music and things of that nature, they say he puts into the atmosphere. We don't miss 4 times or whatever, because I'm hearing they had already, we know of 2 times that they attempted this life, but I'm hearing from people um you know that know that it was when they killed him, that was actually the 4th attempt on his life, right? That was actually the 4th attempt. And so, like I said, I think some of these people are just mad because they thought they wanted to be able to make records and things of that nature. Just like, Young Dolph, they wanted to mimic him in another way. Young Dolph made records, 100 shots and things of that nature. And um, he made 100 shots, and he made money about them missing and all of that. And they thought that they was going to be able to take a human life and then make records about that. We saw what some of the things, we saw a lot of what Black Youngster was doing. Of course, we know that Yo Gotti put that battery in his back to do that also. Okay, but then once they saw that the feds ain't playing this time, and they ain't playing, shout out to the feds. Y'all know I love them too. Okay. Shout out to them, because they're not playing. And I'm glad that they are not playing. And I believe, and this is just my opinion, nobody has told me this. Because when somebody ain't told me now, I could say it. But this is my belief, that the record industry, with all of this killing and all of this gang related killing and things of that nature, all of this genocide that's going on in our community, the feds are getting ready to take it down block by block. Mark my words. Okay. a lot of these young men don't get into the industry, okay, to lose their lives. They don't. These are human beings. Unfortunately, fortunately for them, there is the potential to make a lot of money, and they do. But unfortunately, when they start making a lot of money, they become targets and people become jealous, and they start targeting them to kill them for all types of reasons: insurance, jealousy, things of that nature. It's just something about that jealous demon in our community. We see what happened on YouTube, right? Some of these people have the same mindset on YouTube, and is actually bought by some of these record labels that you see on YouTube, that the same mentality that a lot of these record labels have. If I can't hit you physically, I'm gonna try to hit your character, right? Credibility. I'm coming after that because I'm jealous of you or something like that. Or, that these are the types of people that they hire and solicit, right? But I'm so happy, because to see that it's coming down block by block. It's a damn shame when Black people don't have an issue with committing genocide for some money. And that is what is going on in the rap industry. Genocide is being committed on a lot of Black men, and starting to, because people are so barbaric, Black women too. Okay. So was Young Dolph killed to punish Key Glock? Key Glock is not at fault for what happened to Young Dolph. They just, Young Dolph was not going to stop being great. And so because he was not going to stop being great, he was always a target. Young Dolph, Leo, like myself. Won't stop, can't stop, don't stop. But the difference between me and Young Dolph is I run to the folks. Okay, I don't have no issues with it. When people tip me off on hackers, and I run to the lawyers on slander, and I put stuff into the atmosphere. I know Young Dolph was a street guy, you know. But when the good people that know what's going on behind the scenes drop these gems, I send them to me. On some of these vloggers and what they're trying to do to me, I send it straight to the lawyers and straight to the folks. Okay. And I wish Young Dolph would have did that. I understand in the streets there's a different code, but this is what they wanted. Okay. This is what they wanted. Right. This is what they wanted. But the good thing about it is, in this Young Dolph's case, there are still some good people in the world, okay, that has been helping to get this case solved. Because see, the federal agents and the police officers, they can set up stings and things of that nature. It would have took them a little longer, but it would not have moved this fast had it not been for people who genuinely want to see folks that is out there in the streets, that's just taking people out off of the streets. Okay, you have to give credit to where it's due, and that comes from the good citizens that knew what was going on, that has trusted the investigators and the federal agents in helping to get this case moving along. Okay. And as I always say, y'all know some police officers that's crooked. Why don't y'all go tell them? Go down there to the feds, and but it can't be no what they had said they did. You're gonna have to have some proof, okay? Because we don't want no crooked people on the street. So make sure you got some proof, because they're not going to listen to you if it's, well, such and such has said it. First thing they're going to do is check their mental history. Okay. And just because somebody mentally ill don't mean that, they ain't telling the truth, because it's a lot of mentally ill people that tell the truth. There are mentally ill people that genuinely want to do right. Let me put that into the atmosphere. And then there are mentally ill people that are manipulative and sick, not those that genuinely want to do right, and they're working to help themselves. You know what I mean? Not them. So don't think I'm talking about them, because just because a person is mentally ill don't mean that they're telling a lie. Let's just get that straight, because I know plenty of people that have mental that would be quote unquote considered mentally ill, I wouldn't say that they're mentally ill. I say that, they have some issues where they have to have medicine to help them. Okay. And they're genuine people. But then there's some that's just batshit crazy. Right. But if you got some information on anybody that's crooked, y'all make sure y'all take it down to the FBI or to Internal Affairs and get them off the street. But you're gonna have to make sure that it's authentic information, okay? Not something that sounds good, okay? Anyways, you guys, I want to talk about that. Was Key Glock the reason for Young Dolph? Okay, um being killed, right? No, he was not. This is just something that they wanted to do to Young Dolph, and whether that incident had happened in the airport or not, if as long as Young Dolph was in the music industry, this was engineered. He was a threat. They was going to take him out because they understood he had the money to back his dreams. He didn't need a machine. It was going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But they just was not planning for this, because regardless of what folks say, them folks been on their asses. We see the arrest that they already have. These folks got over 200,000 pages, and we see lawyers going into pandemonium. God damn it, just throw out the whole judge, because we ain't got no, they messing with poor old Judge Coffee, because we don't stand a chance. But their job is to make their clients think that they can do something until that money run out. Then they tunes start to change. They start acting like they get like Gangula. Hey, just go ahead, plead out. You don't stand a chance. Oh no, we got to get rid of Gangula. Hey, Gangula was a good attorney. He was telling them right. Okay. But we're gonna see what this other man gonna do other than get his money, okay, and blow smoke. Because that's all he gonna do. Okay. But was Key Glock was it punishment? Um, you know, I think that was just one more thing. Okay. Up on top of 1,000 um what's the word, that superficial things. Because a person can't help that they are great. Okay. A person can't help that. I always talk about Young Dolph being a Leo because I'm a Leo. And one thing about Leos, you're gonna either love us to death or you're gonna hate us. And people sometimes they can't handle that jealousy of your greatness. They can't handle that. And I don't think that Young Dolph um they could handle him. He loved nice things, he was flashy. He had a charisma about him that drew people to him. And then he had a good heart. I can identify with that. He was a giver, because I'm a giver. I like to see people do well, and if I love people, I'll give them everything I got. Okay. Especially if I feel like they need them. I ain't talking about some man making a fool out of me. Not that. But I'm just saying I like to genuinely help people, right? And I do that all the time. So that them see they sometimes people won't do nothing, but they get jealous when you're doing it. A lot of these people had the opportunity to help the city of the Memphians, but they didn't do it. And so they get mad at somebody else and take out somebody else that's doing it. He was a philanthropist. And I think that's the reason why so many people was like, they've taken out a true philanthropist in the city of Memphis, and now they think they're going to take out a Grove hero. Absolutely not. Okay. And that alone should make should have had the Memphians pissed off, right? You think you're going to consistently take out philanthropists in this city because they're great and y'all jacked up asses left? Absolutely not. Okay. But was Key Glock, taken out to punish Dolph? Was Young Dolph taken out to punish Key Glock? I think they thought that they was going to punish all of Young Dolph's artists because they was jealous of them. They knew Young Dolph was getting ready to put them on the map, and their money was going to be longer than theirs, because he knew the recipe and he knew how to get money, and they knew he was truly the visionary as it relates to that label. And Key Glock's money was already long. Okay, hold on. Hello. Okay. All right, you guys, my little grandbaby here, but I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you all would like to support the channel, you can definitely do it via Cash App. Y'all know I was getting ready to get into that more, but child, she out there and she woke. So that head gonna be standing straight up at 5 o'clock in the darn morning, because that's what it is. All right. But I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you so much. All of my loyal subscribers, all of my new subscribers that are coming in, rocking out with me. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to have a good day.